Hey everyone, Ekman here with another video, and we are just a couple of weeks away from Union Arena launching here in North America, and I'm super duper excited for it. We also do have these super pre-release events in the next couple of weeks, which kind of focus on the two star decks that we're getting first, both Hunter x Hunter as well as Bleach. So if you guys haven't checked them out on Bandai TCG Plus, you can check out some super pre-release events that are going out in your area. I'll be going to a couple of my own as well, which I'm looking forward to, but I did want to make a video going over these two specific star decks since they will be key for those events. But a couple of things we're going to talk about before we get into this. Most of them are, I think, common knowledge, but I do want to mention them before we get into this in case you guys don't know. So first, these are the Japanese versions of these decks, which means these cards are in Japanese. But the reason I mention that is because we might have some different ratios between the Japanese and English release. I'm 99% sure that they are the same, but in case they aren't, I do want to mention that. And if they do get updated or if there is a difference, I'll make sure to update the deck lists that are in the description, as well as pin a comment for this one too. So make sure to check that out if you haven't already in case something has changed, but likely they're the same, but I do just want to mention that as well. And as mentioned too, the deck list for these specifically will be on my website, Eggman Events, so you can check those out. So you can check out what the ratios of cards look like, and you can see what cards are in this, very, very small meta that we have right now. I also want to mention that the English and Japanese versions of the card games will have different release schedules for IPs. So, and I'm going to guess that some IPs that are released in Japan aren't released here in North America and vice versa. So, for example, Hunter x Hunter was one of the first star decks in Japan, but Bleach was not. I think it was either the fifth or eighth star deck out there. So that's a big difference between the two. And then, lastly, there is this thing in the star decks too, where they are a mix of new cards that are specifically from the star deck, as well as reprints of cards that are in the official booster. So they are functionally the same card, but the cards in the star decks have unique art versus the cards in the booster. So if you do see some alternative arts for some of the booster cards, that's the reason why. They're just the same. It just depends on if you get it from the booster or the starter deck. So I think those are all the key points I want to mention before we get into this. If you guys have any additional questions or any comments, let me know in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer them as well. But let's just jump on into it, and we're going to open the Hunter x Hunter and then open up the Bleach one right after that. All right, let's get started with the Hunter x Hunter one. And I did cheat. I did open this a little bit because I'm not used to this kind of packaging for cards. But we do have the deck here. We do have the little insert, and then we do have, I think, a rules manual, which maybe has a play. It does have a board. That's really nice. Right there. Not that that really technically matters in this game compared to other card games that Bandai makes, but it's nice that they include that real quick. So we do have the 50 here, and it does come with 50, and then I believe it comes with, it should come with 3 action points as well. So let's jump on into this one. Oh, they do have the little tab. What am I doing? There it is. Easy. All right. So on the back we do have these 3. Oh, these are really nice. Oh, these are really, really nice. Look at those. Look at these action points. I'm going to just use these moving forward. That's very nice, too. All right. Their foil has the 4 on there, which is really cool. So happy for that. All right. So we do have a good amount. I believe that we're going to just go through the cards that we get from the set. So, and I'm cheating on the side here. We have Kiriko here. We have 4 copies of these. These are just from the set as well, so not a new card for us there. Has the effect, and I'm going to be cheating again, just to one play you get to draw a card, so not too crazy there. We also have the Kiriko, is that right? Kiripiko? Or Kurapika. We have Kurapika. So this just has, if you have 6 or more energy, this gains 1,000 BP. So again, I think we're just going to go through the cards that are from the set correctly. Yeah. So these are just set cards as well. So again, as mentioned, these are, I believe, alternate arts for cards that do exist already in the set. We do have the Gone, 4 copies of that one. Pretty good for I don't know, every deck that has some sort of raid, they do make sure to include the 0 cost 1 action cards of the ones that you can raid into. So I do think that's really helpful. I think this is, oh man, I'm so bad with these names. We have Sator's. We have this one here. This has this effect that you can switch this to rest mode, and then you gain an additional green energy generation, and then you have to trash this card or sideline this at the end of the turn. So pretty handy there as well. We have the Tonpa. So this one we only get 2 copies of, but again, this one is from the set. Just you choose one character with 15 or more BP, it loses 10 for the turn, so pretty standard for there. I think most colors get a card like that, and most archetypes do as well. All right, next up we have 2 copies of the. Oh, I'm so bad with these names. Nitiro. So this, if this is active, you get an additional energy there. So this can, when you play it rested. It's only generating 1, and then at the start of your turn, you get to generate another one. Actually, at the end of your turn, you get to flip it to unrest. So you get another energy generation there too, which could be good for turning something that even like on offense, it wouldn't get the 6 or more energy generation, but at the end of your turn, you get to bring it to active and they'll go there. All right, I do know Leorio, and it is the double energy, which is pretty standard for this game, where you play it, you put something back into your hand that has a cost of 1 or less energy, and then it generates 2. So very nice there. Generally, these are also cards that don't raid into things, and there's not a Leorio raid as far as I know. And then we do have our events. So we do have Fishing Rod. This is a special, so every deck can have up to 4 special triggers. This is the one here. It's generally for a lot of these, it's something along the lines of you can pop something 3,000 or less, and if you have the character corresponding to it, so this one would be gone, you're able to get rid of a 5,000 or less. So, or you just get to put it into the trash outright. So, or sideline it. So we have that there. We do also have our Hunter's License. So this is the final one. Finals are, if you're familiar with like Dragon Ball or games like that, it's like a sensu bean where you spend 1 action point, but you get 2 back. So that's really helpful for extending your plays. It means that you can have 4 action points that turn, and it's the last card in your life. You do get to survive 1 more. And then, so these are going into the cards that are specific for the starter deck, and you can check out the ratios for these as well. We do have 2 copies of the 3 cost Gone right there. So this one, again, is unique to the starter deck, but being able to, if this character has 4,000 or more BP, it gets impact 1, so being able to put some pressure on there too. We do care about either getting more energy generation than other things, but also boosting our own stuff up. We have 2 copies of the 5 cost raid, with one of them being foil. It'll be interesting to see if they put 2 foils for the English version. That's generally how they do it. But this is the raid one. It has impact. You're able to raid it on top of any of the non-rated copies of Gone as well. And this also says all characters on your field gain 1,000 BP for the turn. So that means that if you already had this one out, you can use that to bump it up. So this would have impact 1, which would be very nice, just combo-wise there too. We have 4 copies of, I think this is just like old ship captain. I don't actually think he has a name. Captain of the ship. So just the vanilla. You do have to put a couple vanillas in this as well. We do also have 4 copies of Mito, which does let us gain a plus 1,000 on play. So again, this works really well with your Gone, being able to make it go from 3,000 to 4,000, which it doesn't only just have like a good amount of pressure, but gives it that impact 1, which is really, really nice. So impact 1 with being able to increase your power is fantastic too. We have a Leorio. So this is just a general double energy. So it does cost 3, but then it's able to generate 2 additional energy for you, which is really, really nice. You'll see that most IPs and most colors have that as well. And then we do also have the Killua, which is another super rare. It's not a raid, but it is something that we get to play for 5 energy generation, and it is an action too. So that means it's a little bit more powerful than usual on its effects. So being able to choose up to 1 character in your opponent's front line with BP equal to or less than your highest BP of other characters on your field and sideline it. So on play, you'd be able to get rid of a 4,000 or less, and then if you bump something else with like the Mito and then played this, you'd be able to potentially get rid of something a little bit stronger too. So we also have another double action point, which is the Hisoka. It has a combination of impact 1 and double damage, and it's a 5,000. So a good combination. Just it's a little expensive, right? It's 6 energy generation, but not too shabby there. And then we do have two more. We do have our stage here. So it's Whale Island, being able to generate another energy as long as you have a Gone in place. So not too terrible. Very easy to make this a double energy as well. And lastly, we do have Picture of Jin. So being able to look at, let me double check what this does. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal up to one character among them, and add them to your hand. Place remaining cards at the bottom of your deck. If the card you revealed was Gone, you get to draw a card. So potentially a draw two, and obviously Gone is one of the better cards for us to get in this deck because it is something we want to raid for. So that's the deck for this one. Again, like unusual, or not unusual for Bandit card games. If you want to play a set of the starter deck cards, you do need to get 2 copies of it. But again, everything on this bottom half here is more of these are just cards you get from the starter deck, and these are this is a rare. You get 2 copies of rare. Everything else is uncommon, I believe. Yeah, I don't think there's any other rare, so likely not worth it just to get a second copy of these guys, but you definitely want second copies of, like, I like Whale Island. I'm not sure how good it is outright, and if you're playing like a raid deck with Gone, you definitely need some more copies of that one. So that is the Hunter x Hunter deck, and let's go to the Bleach deck. All right, and now we've got the Bleach deck as well. I cheated. I opened this up a little bit more. Also, I'm gonna let you guys know you're gonna find this out very shortly too. I did not watch Bleach. I did not watch a lot of Bleach, so a lot of these names I'm gonna either not know or I'm gonna cheat and look to the side of what their real names are. But I apologize. I also want to pronounce these characters' names correctly. But again, last time I mentioned it. This is half of cards that we get from the set and half cards that are new. I'll mention when we switch over to the Star Deck exclusive cards as well. But we'll look at the back here. We do get 3 action points. These are standard. Maybe, okay, actually, maybe I got rare. Spoilers if you jumped to this part. I got these foil Hunter x Hunter ones. Maybe not all of them are foil, but these are nice. These are some good action points here. I do like these. So maybe these could have been foil, and maybe I got lucky here. You guys probably know more than I do on that one. If you do, let me know in the comments. But those are nice. Those are nice ones. These are still great too. But you gotta get those foil ones. But all right, going through it. All right, the cheating begins immediately for some of these names. But we start off with their 0 cost here. This just says when you play it, you get to draw a card and trash a card. So pretty standard for most decks to have that as well. I think this is a Ryu. Yeah, a Ryu. Draw a card then sideline. And purple has an identity where you want to have cards into your sideline as well, so that helps out that as well. We also have Orihime as well, 2 copies of this one, being able to, when played, return 1 other card. It's a double energy, so as mentioned. So you can do some nice stuff where you can play this, and then afterwards you can play this, bounce this back to your hand, which means you can play this again and get the draw 1, trash 1. Get some cycle, get some energy as you want it, and very good there too. We do also have the double energy. So this is Kisuke, being able to, if this card's active, you get to gain the purple energy. So again, you play it, it's arrested, it only generates 1. You flip this to active at the start of your turn, and then you're able to have this generate 2 energy. So not too shabby there either. But the issue is that you do have to have 2 energy to play it, so you can't usually play it during your turn 1 because of that. We also have our Ichigo, so we have 4 copies of this. This is our 0 cost. I mentioned it. Most decks that have a raid top end like to have these 0 cost versions of like the weenie version of it that also says the get trigger. So that means that if you hit this out of your life, you get to add it to your hand, which means you can play it and then you have a raid target, which is really nice. We also have 4 copies of this guy here, who I'm cheating again. This is Yasutora, so this has a pretty the same effect as well. So we can switch this to rest. It generates another energy, and then at the end of your turn, you get to sideline it. So another way to sneak up into 2 energy if you really need to, and that helps out the deck as well. We do also have 2 copies of, I think this is Renji, my apologies. So this one here, let me this one's actually kind of unique comparatively. So activate main, if on the front line once per turn, you can place 1 card from the top of your deck into your sideline. If you do, choose up to 1 character in your field, gains plus 500 BP. So being able to make this a 4K if you need to, or something else, give plus 5K as well. And then also, there's no real power for this too. So just being able to use this and get the card into the the trash. So if you need to fill up more cards in the trash, this is a free way to do so, and helps you out too. And there's also some Renjis later that have raid, so I think that's a good thing for this deck too. We do also have this is towards the end. These are the last couple cards that we get that are exclusive to the, or not exclusive, but before we get to our exclusives, we have Fresh Bread, which lets us gain some, Delicious Bread, which lets you give something plus 1,000 if you, you get to do that, which is really nice. Then we also do have the, I have to cheat for this one. Even if I knew it, I want to make sure. So Getsu Suga Tensho. I totally said that wrong. Make sure to make fun of me in the comments. But it's the same thing as the fishing rod, being able to use it to get rid of a 3,000 or less. And if we happen to have an Ichigo on the board, it's 5,000 or less, right? And then we have the Bankai, which lets us get the additional... Bankai just lets us get the action points back too. So we pay it for 1 action point, and then we get 2 action points, so we get an extension on that too. So those are the cards that we get in the starter deck that come from the set. Again, these are all arts. There's different arts when you see them in the set, so in case you get confused, that is why. All right, we also do have this additional Orihime here. So this is the one that is exclusive to the starter. Let me bring it up here. So it just has double block, so that means that you can use this card, you can block, and then you get to restand it afterwards, so it can block 2 things essentially. It also has the activate trigger there too, so not too bad. It's 3,000, which is good-ish, but generally I start seeing things get like 3,500 or 4,000. It'd only be able to be a single block for those situations. So you'd have to have, like, if you had like an activate trigger to give it plus power, and then you get the additional effects there too. We have another one of these double energy, so it costs 3, so it's a little bit costly for no effect, but it does mean we do get that additional 2 energy for the rest of the game, which is fairly good. We also have our 3-cost Ichigo here, and let me double check his effect. So he says, when attacking, this card gets plus 1,000 BP until the end of the turn, so you're able to make it a 4,000, and it's also a double energy for 3, so pretty good. No trigger, obviously, so it does stink if you hit it off of life, but being able to have some additional effects or be able to generate that extra energy is really nice. And then obviously our top end here, we do have the Ichigo here, the raid target. It has impact 1, and also has the once per turn where you place 4 cards from the sideline to your removal area. If you do, draw a card, and this gets impact 1. So being able to get some cycle, being able to be rewarded for putting cards into your trash or your sideline, which we're doing already, and then it's impact as well. So impact is probably one of the better card effects or keywords in this game. Generically, it's just very good because it means that if they don't, it just almost guarantees damage, which is really good in a lot of situations. So we do have that there. So that's the Ichigo line, and obviously you'd probably want 4 of each of these Ichigos, so you do kind of need 2 of these starter decks. We also have the Renji as well, so it's a double action point there as well. If I'm reading it, choose up to one of your characters on your opponent's front line. It loses 3,000 BP until the start of their turn. So being able to use this to potentially remove something or make something that you were expecting to be a blocker be a not blocker. So if you had this and they had like a 4,500, this impact wouldn't do anything, but then by using this, the impact would be, impactful. No pun intended. Then we do also have our other double action point here as well. This is Rukia, which says when played, you may place 3 cards from your sideline into your removal area. If you do, you get to draw 2 cards. So being able to get some additional card draw is good. It also has the trigger where you're able to add it from your hand, the get trigger, and it's a 4,000 BP, so it's likely going to be hitting into a lot of big things. We also do just have this vanilla. I don't know either of these characters' names, nor will I look it up. I won't cheat on that one. I'm just going to put them aside. We also do have Ichigo's Room here, which is the stage, which we actually get 4 copies of, which is kind of wild since we only got 2 copies of Whale Island. But being able to use this, switch to resting, sideline this card, draw 2, then place 1 card from your hand into your sideline. So you're able to cycle 2 cards and then also use this. You put 1 card from your hand and this card into your sideline. So if you need more cards there for like your Ichigo or something, it's a good way to do that as well. And then lastly, we do have our last card here, so which last time it's Karakura Town Substitute Shinigami, which might just be completely different when we actually see the full translation to English, but just says draw 2 cards and place 1 card from your hand into your sideline. So same thing as this guy, but it's an event instead of a stage, so we don't get the what the energy is. It's just a one-time use kind of thing. So that is going to be it for this video. Hopefully you guys got something for it. Again, if you guys want to check out the full deck list based on these, you can just check them out in the description. They'll be there. And if they're different than the English versions that we actually get for some reason, make sure to check out the description and also the comments. I'll let you guys know if there's any differences when we get a full confirmation for it. But that's going to be it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have any questions or comments, please let me know. I'll do my best to answer them, and I'll catch you all next time.
Damn it.